Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Vihari Jayo Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Girivaradhari Jayo Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Girivaradhari Jayo Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Dana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Vihari Jayo Kunja Vihari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Sri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktarinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me, Jagannami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Jayo Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Sri Radhe Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Sri Radhe Jayo Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Sri Radhe Vallabha Radha Vallabha Sri Radhe Jayo Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Sri Radhe Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Sri Radhe Jayo Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Sri Radhe Madhava Radha Madhava Sri Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Sri Radhe Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Sri Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Sri Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Sri Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan 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 Jayo Nitai Doyal Jayo Nimai Sundar Jayo Sundar Nimai Jayo Nitai Doyal Jayo Nitai Doyal Jayo Nimai Sundar Nimai Sundar Jayo Nitai Doyal Jayo Nitai Doyal Jayo Nimai Sundar Jayo Sundar Nimai Jayo Nitai Doyal Nitai Doyal Jayo Nimai Sundar Jayo Sundar Nimai Jayo Nitai Doyal Jaya Gaura Nitai 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Pada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Srila Guru Deva. Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Srila Guru Deva. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Grandhara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Srinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtanaha Hrudantasto hi abhadrani Vidunnoti surhusatam Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with the transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. So we are in Canto 9, which says liberation is the focus of the canto. Chapter 5, Durvasa Muni's life spared. Text 25. Evam vidhaneka gunasaraja Neka gunasaraja Evam vidhaneka gunasaraja Vidhaneka gunasaraja Paratmani Brahmani Vasudeve Atmani Brahmani Vasudeve Paratmani Brahmani Vasudeve Kriya Kalapai Samuvaha Bhaktim Kalapai Samuvaha Bhaktim Kriya Kalapai Samuvaha Bhaktim Yaya Virinchan Nirayams Chakara Avirinchan Nirayams Chakara Yaya Virinchan Nirayams Chakara Virinchan Nirayams Chakara Evam Vidhaneka Gunasaraja Kagunasaraja Paratmani Brahmani Vasudeve Mani Brahmani Vasudeve Kriya Kalapai Samuvaha Bhaktim Kalapai Samuvaha Bhaktim Yaya Virincha Nirayams Chakara Avirincha Nirayams Chakara Evam Vidhaneka Gunasaraja Paratmani Brahmani Vasudeve Kriya-kalapai samvaha bhaktim yaya viranscha nirayamschakara evam vidaneka gunascha raja paratmani brahmani vasudeve kriya kalapai samvaha bhaktim yaya virancha nirayamschakara. Evam vidaneka gunascha raja paratmani brahmani vasudeve kriya kalapai samvaha bhaktim yaya virincha nirayamschakara. Any Matajis? Evam vidhaneka gunasaraja paratmani brahmani vasudeve kriya kalapai samvaha bhaktim yaya virincha nirayamschakara. Anyone else? Yeah, word to word meaning and translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Evam, in this way, vidhaneka gunaha, endowed with varieties of good qualities. Saha, he, Maharaj Ambarish, Raja, the king, Paratmani, on to the super soul, Brahmani, on to Brahman, Vasudeve, on to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, Vasudeva, Kriya Kalapai, by practical activities, Samuvaha, executed, Bhaktim, devotional service, Yaya, by such activities, Avarinchayan, beginning from the topmost planet, Nirayan, down to the hellish planets, Chakara, he experienced that there is danger everywhere. Translation. In this way, because of devotional service, Maharaj Ambarish, who was endowed with varieties of transcendental qualities, was completely aware of Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus he executed devotional service perfectly. Because of his devotion, he thought even the topmost planet of this material world no better than hellish planets. Purport. An exalted and pure devotee like Maharaj Ambarish is in full awareness of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. In other words, a devotee of Vasudeva, Krishna, is in full knowledge of the other features of the Absolute Truth. The Absolute Truth is realized in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti shabdhate. A devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, knows everything. Vasudeva Sarvam iti, because Vasudeva Krishna includes both Paramatma and Brahman. One does not have to realize Paramatma by the yoga system For the devotee always thinking of Vasudeva is the topmost yogi, yoginam api sarvesham. And as far as jnana is concerned, if one is a perfect devotee of Vasudeva, he is the greatest Mahatma. Vasudeva sarvamiti sa Mahatma sudhurlabha. A Mahatma is one who has full knowledge of the absolute truth. Thus Maharaj Ambarish, being a devotee of the personality of Godhead, was in full awareness of Paramatma, Brahman, Maya, the material world, the spiritual world, and how things are going on everywhere. Everything was known to him. Yasmin vignate sarvam evam vignatam bhavati. Because the devotee knows Vasudeva, he knows everything within the creation of Vasudeva. Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudhurlabha. Such a devotee does not give much value to the highest standard of happiness within this material world. Narayana parasarve na kutaschana bibhyati svarga apavarga narakeshu apitulyartha darshinaha 6.17.28. Because he is fixed in devotional service, a devotee does not regard any position in the material world as important. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has therefore written in Chaitanya Chandramrita, text 5, Kaivalyam narakayate tridashapur akasa pushpayate durdantendriya kala sarpa patali protkata dhamsrayate vishvam purna sukhayate vidhi mahendradis chakitayate kitayate yat karunya kataksha vaibhavatam tam gauram evastumaha. So for one who becomes a pure devotee through devotional service to great personalities like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kaivalya or merging into Brahman appears no better than hell. As far as the heavenly planets are concerned, to a devotee they are like phantasmagoria or Vilova the wisp. And as far as yogic perfection is concerned, a devotee does not care a fig for such perfection, since the purpose of yogic perfection is achieved automatically by the devotee. This is all possible when one becomes a devotee of the Lord through the medium of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has the form of Satchitananda Vigraha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Him who turned the dumb into eloquent speakers and enables the lame to cross mountains. Such is the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Translation again. In this way, because of devotional service, Maharaj Ambarish, who was endowed with varieties of transcendental qualities, was completely aware of Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus he executed devotional service perfectly. Because of his devotion, he thought even the topmost planet of this material world no better than the hellish planets. So we find, let's try to understand the context in which this verse is being spoken. We have seen so far that Ambarish Maharaj is the emperor and he performed Ekadasi Vrat, and Durvasa Muni came to his palace, and he said he should be, so therefore Ambarish Maharaj said that he'll be serving him prasadam, and Ambarish Maharaj went to have his morning ablutions to complete. But in the meantime, that there is a set time to break the Ekadasi Vrat. So therefore, someone who does fasting completely can break the fast by taking a sip of water. So he tries to take the sip of water, and that angers Durvasa Muni. He said, how is that before the guest takes that you break the fast? And therefore, out of his anger, he produces a demon. And Ambarish Maharaj, being a pure devotee under the protection of the Supreme Lord, Sudarshan Chakra appears. And that Sudarshan Chakra chases Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni goes all over the universe to Vaikuntha, to Shivaloka, or to Lord Brahma. No one could save him. And finally, Lord Narayan or Lord Vishnu tells him that go and seek pardon from Ambarish Maharaj himself, who can withdraw the Sudarshan Chakra. It's not under my control. So therefore, therefore Durvasa Muni comes and seeks pardon from Ambarish Maharaj. Although he is a great mystic yogi, he falls at the feet of Emperor Ambarish Maharaj, is a great devotee, seeks his forgiveness, and then Ambarish Maharaj prays to Sudarshan Chakra, and the Sudarshan Chakra is withdraws. And that's how the life of Durvasa Muni gets saved. So therefore, in the previous verse, it is said that after 1 year, when Durvasa Muni had returned, King Ambarish sumptuously fed him all varieties of pure food, and then he himself also ate. When the king saw that the Brahmana Durvasa had been released from the great danger of being burned, he could understand that by the grace of the Lord, he himself was also powerful, but he did not take any credit, for everything had been done by the Lord. So this is the humility of a pure devotee, that the devotee does not take any credit to himself or oneself, but offers the credit to the Guru, to the Parampara, to the Supreme Lord. The devotee understands that whatever qualities the devotee has, whatever the devotee can do, is only under the shelter of the Guru and the Parampara and the Supreme Lord. So therefore Prabhupada says, in this way, so continuing from the previous verse, because of devotional service. Now, we should understand what is meant by devotional service. Prabhupada translates bhakti as devotional service. And what is the definition given for bhakti or devotional service? Anyone? Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So satisfying the senses of Hrishikesha or Achyuta, the Supreme Lord, is bhakti. And how is Ambarish Maharaj performing that bhakti activities? So we can see that in the previous text, that is 9.4.18 to 20, the activities of Ambarish Maharaj is explained. Savai manaha Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikunta gunar varnane karau harer mandiramarjanadishu srutim chakara achyuta sat katodhaye mukunda lingaya darshane drishau tadbhrutya gatra sparshe nanga sangamam grinam cha tatpada saroja saurabhe Śrīmad Tulasya rasanam tadarpite padau Hare kshetra padanusarpane siro hrushikesha padabhivandane kamam cha dhasyana tu kama kamaya yatottama sloka janasrayaratihi. So these are the activities performed by Ambarish Maharaj, although he was a great emperor. The Prabhupada translates this verse as Maharaj Ambarish always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna. His words in describing the glories of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the Lord's temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temples, and Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavan. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of tulasi offered to the Lord. And he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasada. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord. His head is bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaj Ambarish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his senses in devotional service in various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. So you can see that Ambarish Maharaj has engaged all his senses in service of the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada, out of his kindness, mercy, has provided all the services to the devotees in ISKCON. You can see that we find many devotees cleaning the courtyard. There are devotees who are cleaning the kitchen. There are devotees who are cooking bhoga and offering to the Supreme Lord, Radha Vallabha, Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadramaya, Gauranithai, and that comes out as prasadam to everyone. So therefore we are fortunate to receive that prasadam 3 times a day in Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir without being asked to give even a cent as donation. With love and affection it is served. And we get tulasi, we also get the lotus flowers from the lotus feet of Radha Vallabha to spell during the Arati time. We have the opportunity to walk to Radha Vallabha temple or Melbourne Mahaprabhu temple to have darshan. We also have the opportunity to hug, touch the devotees. Well, let's be assured that do not make an attempt to touch the Matajis. So it's not that where you are required to touch others doesn't mean that you touch the opposite sex. And so by engaging in all these activities, what happens? One gets elevated. One's consciousness gets elevated. And this is what we find even in the 3rd canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, where Mother Devahuti is asking her son, the Supreme Lord, Lord Kapila, that you have explained to me so far the Sankhya Yoga, or that the spirit soul is different from the material elements, but they are so intimately intertwined. You just can't make out the difference between, you can't separate them out. And can you explain how is it possible to wriggle out, to separate matter from spirit? Because since time immemorial, they are so tightly bound with each other. And Lord Kapila gives a simple answer that just perform Shravanam and Kirtanam. Just perform bhakti onto me. Supreme Lord Himself is saying, just perform bhakti onto me, and then that gives you the facility to wriggle out, to separate yourself from the spirit soul, from matter. And that's what we find Ambarish Maharaj is doing, that although he's an emperor, he is performing the activities as said by Lord Kapila. And if an emperor like Ambarish Maharaj can perform devotional activities, then what limits an ordinary person like us from performing devotional activity? There should not be an excuse from performing devotional activity, isn't it? But yet we have 100 reasons not to perform the devotional activity. We have many reasons to perform material activity, but not devotional activity. And by doing that, we are losing one more life in falling into the same trap of Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. We are going through the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease. Because we find that, as Lord Kapila says, the simple process is to perform devotion, bhakti, and that wriggles you out. And Mother Devahuti there, he says that I am disgusted by engaging my senses with sense objects. How many of us can say that we are disgusted by engaging senses with the sense objects? Because we feel that the eyes are meant for seeing beautiful things, the tongue is meant for eating sumptuous, tasty items. The ears are meant for hearing wonderful music. The skin is meant for touching some soft items. So every sense we have in our body, we are trying to engage for sensual pleasure. But an exalted devotee like Mother Devahuti says that I am disgusted by engaging my senses with the sense objects. And there it's also said, when the elements are forming, the different devatas are appearing as the controllers of different senses. That means that the senses are required to be deployed or employed according to Vedic injunction. Because devatas never perform any activity against the Vedic injunction. So therefore, we should engage our senses according to Vedic injunction, and if we are not doing that, it implies that we are going against the Vedic injunction. And by going against the Vedic injunction, one has to face the consequences. So therefore, in this verse, under discussion, we find that the activities of a pure devotee and the knowledge and understanding of a pure devotee is contrasted with somebody who is not a devotee. Or in simple terms, the understanding of a devotee versus the understanding of a non-devotee is highlighted in this particular verse. So we find that Prabhupada starts that an exalted and pure devotee like Maharaj Ambarish is in full awareness of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. In other words, a devotee of Vasudeva Krishna is in full knowledge of the other features of the absolute truth. So therefore, what is meant by absolute truth? We should understand the basics. So what is meant by absolute truth? Sorry, Prabhu? Yeah, we can say that Supreme Personality of Godhead, including all His energies, or we can, even simple terms, we can say that from whom everything emanates. From whom everything emanates, whether it is material, spiritual, everything emanates from Him only. And that personality is defined as absolute truth. So absolute truth can be realized, as Prabhupada continues, in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And quotes we call it as the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam foundational verse, or the basic verse, the Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti Shabdate, that the learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call it non-dual substance, Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. So the Lord can be realized in these three aspects: Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. And Prabhupada, through many of his verses or purports, he says that Brahman is realized by the Gyanis, and their realization or their understanding is to merge with the Brahman. Or to give us an example, we have the sun, the sunlight, and the sun globe. So therefore, the sunlight is considered to be the Brahman, and they think that the Gyanis think that merging into that sunlight is the ultimate goal of the yoga activity they are performing or the process they are undertaking. So therefore, and that is considered to be not complete, but an incomplete understanding, because the merging into Brahman effulgence is considered to be only the Chit part. The Sat part. It is not, so because it is eternal, so therefore the Sat component, because in Lord's form you have the Sachitananda Vigraha. So someone who is looking at only the effulgence emanating from the Supreme Lord and trying to merge, that is considered to be the achievement of Sat part only. And then you have the Paramatma, which is the combination of Sat and Chit, that there is eternity and awareness. Then comes the understanding of Bhagavan. And Bhagavan understanding is all the three: Sat, Chit, and Ananda. So Prabhupada says that if one understands Bhagavan, then he automatically understands the impersonal form of the Lord and also the Paramatma form of the Lord. Because the Bhagavan form understanding includes both the impersonal form and the Paramatma. And we have the verses substantiating that Bhagavan realized Krishna is the source of Brahma, that is Brahmano hi pratistaham. Bhagavad Gita 14.27 says that I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. And then Krishna also says about the Paramatma, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutasya Stitaha. I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. So this is the Paramatma aspect, and Krishna says he himself is that super soul. So therefore Krishna says that he is the basis for Brahman, and he is also the basis for Paramatma. So if someone understands Lord Krishna or the Bhagavan from the Lord, then he automatically understands the impersonal form of the Lord and also the Paramatma form. Therefore, Prabhupada said that a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, knows everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. And Prabhupada, in the purport, it's interesting to understand how Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Prabhupada gives the purport that the living entity, while executing devotional service or transcendental rituals after many, many births, may actually become situated in transcendental pure knowledge that the Supreme Person of Godhead is the ultimate goal of spiritual realization. So this is a gradual process is being explained here. In the beginning of spiritual realization, while one is trying to give up one's attachment to materialism, there is some leaning towards impersonalism. So while trying to get detached from matter, there is a tendency to move towards impersonalism. But when one is further advanced, he can understand that there are activities in the spiritual life, and these activities constitute devotional service. So when somebody further progresses on spiritual path, then the person understands that it's not just light and no form, but there is a place called a spiritual world, and in that spiritual world there are spiritual entities who perform activities to please the Supreme Lord. So realizing this, he becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrenders to Him. At such a time, one can understand that Lord Sri Krishna's mercy is everything, and that He is the cause of all causes, and that this material manifestation is not independent from Him. So this is what we see, that when Mahavishnu is glancing at Pradhan with the time as a factor and the jivas, so we find that the transformation of the Pradhan takes place. Till then, the Pradhan was in a neutral phase where the three modes are in total equilibrium, but with the time factor being injected, it's set into motion, and therefore the elements start forming. And when the elements are forming, we find that these elements have, the 24 elements are formed, as Sankhya philosophy tells us in the 3rd canto of Bhagavatam, and these elements have nothing to do with the spirit soul. Spirit soul is different, and the elements are different. And therefore, and then we understand there that the Lord has the spiritual energy and the material energy, and these elements are part of the material energy, and therefore he understands that the Lord, the spirit soul, and the material energy of the 24 elements, they're all different aspects of the Supreme Lord, and therefore he knows that in this world or in this cosmos, there's nothing but the Supreme Lord and His energies only. At such a time, one can understand that Lord Sri Krishna's mercy is everything, because when he gets attached to the Supreme Lord, since he knows that everything is Supreme Lord only, then he becomes attached to the Supreme Lord and surrenders to Him. At such a time, one can understand that Lord Sri Krishna's mercy is everything, that He is the cause of all causes, and that this material manifestation is not independent from Him, because it is His energy. Nothing exists outside Him, everything exists inside Him. He realizes the material world to be a perverted reflection of spiritual variegatedness, and realizes that in everything there is a relationship with that Supreme Lord Krishna. So this is the understanding of an advanced devotee, that everywhere he says only Krishna and Krishna's energy. Because in this world, what we see is only the dull matter and the combination of dull matter and the spirit soul. When I say that, when we look at any person, any living entity, it's a combination of the spirit soul and the dull matter, or the material elements. So when we see that the material elements are coming from the Supreme Lord, the spirit soul is also the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So that means that the person's vision, he does not see somebody meant for his personal satisfaction, or he always sees as Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam, that this is the Lord's energy and it is meant for Lord's pleasure, not for one's own pleasure. the change in that attitude from personal sensual pleasure to satisfying the Supreme Lord is the turn one should make, and that turn gives him the understanding that wriggles him out of this material world and paves the way for back to Godhead. So he realized the material world to be a perfect reflection of spiritual variegatedness, and realized that in everything that there is a relation to the Supreme Lord Krishna. Thus he thinks of everything in relation to Vasudeva Sri Krishna. Such a universal vision of Vasudeva precipitates one's full surrender to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna as the highest goal. Such surrendered great souls are very rare. So we find that how is the progression taking place? It's a gradual process, and therefore Prabhupada says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante. After many, many, many lifetimes, a person comes to the conclusion that Vasudeva is Sarvamiti, that Krishna is everything. So this verse is very nicely explained in the 3rd chapter, 14th and 15th of the Shvetaswara Upanishad. Oh, sorry, I'm moving where? Yeah. Such a devotee does not give much value to the highest standard of happiness within this material world. Narayana parasarve na kutaschana bhibhyati swarga apavarga narakeshu apitulyartha darshinaha. Because the devotee understands that wherever you go, you find the same janma mrityu jara vyadhi, same misery. And therefore, the devotee is not interested in going anywhere except serving the Supreme Lord under whatever conditions are. So therefore, the verse is translated devotees solely engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, never fear any condition of life. For them, the heavenly planets, the liberation, and the hellish planets are all the same. For such devotees are interested only in the service of the Lord, because they understand that wherever one goes, it doesn't matter. We find the same situation, birth, death, old age, and disease. And therefore, the external conditions does not really affect the devotee. The devotee is connected only in serving the Supreme Lord. So long the devotee is connected to the Supreme Lord, then the external features, whether the person is in a hellish condition or the person is in a heavenly condition, it does not matter, because he is connected to the Supreme Lord. I think Anda Prabhu gave in his class the beautiful example of the electrical wire connected to the generator. So long the electrical wire is connected to the generator, you are in touch with the Supreme Lord. Therefore, what happens externally, it just doesn't matter. You are in touch with the Supreme Lord. The grace of the Supreme Lord is being experienced. I'm not sure how many of you had really an electrical shock. Has anyone experienced electrical shock? Yeah. Because I had that experience as well. It was way back, some 35 years back. Our house in Hyderabad was in construction, and I did not know that it was an evening about 6:37 that their wire was, the plastic part was removed, and I tried to switch on the light, and I was holding the live wire. And for a couple of minutes, my whole body was shaking. It was, I believe I was shrieking so much that my father in the adjacent room said I was about to die. And he came running. I'm not sure how he disconnected me from the source, but he disconnected me from the source, and then I fell down to the ground. Then my father was asking, what has happened? I said, I'm not sure, but my whole body was shaking vigorously, both internally. So that means that when you are connected to the power source, or you are connected to the Supreme Lord, you become so much enthused that external matter, external hellish conditions or external condition does not really impact you. You forget about that. Because he is fixed in devotional service, therefore Prabhupada continues, a devotee does not regard any position in the material world as important. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has therefore written, Kaivalyam narakayate tridashapur akasa pushpayate durdantendriya kala sarpapatali prokthata damstrayate Vishvam Purna Sukhayate Vidhi Mahendradischa Kitayate Yat Karunya Kataksha Vaibhavatam Tam Gauram Evastumaha. So therefore this verse is saying that for the Kaivalyam Narakayate Tridashapura Akasha Pushpayate, that the last line, yat karunya kataksha vaibhavavatam tam gauram evastumaha. Gauram is someone who has received yat karunya, the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauram Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then such a person he does not care the Kaivalyam such a person, Kaivalyam Narakayate, such person considers the merging into the impersonal form of the Lord as Narakam, as hellish condition. Tridasapura Akasa Pushpayate, going to the higher, Tridasapura is going to the higher planetary system, as Prabhupada says that phantasmagoria. It is like seeing some flowers in the sky. Durdantendriya kala sarpa patali. For him, his senses are like the poisonous snake whose poison has been taken out. So therefore that snake has no effect on others. Protkata damstrayate. It seems like Damstrayate, it's as if that has been defanged or the poison has been taken out. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Vishwam is anywhere, Purna Sukhayate, he feels blissful. Vidhi Mahendradis Chakitayate. Vidhi is Lord Brahma. Mahendradi is that Indra. Chakitayate. Their places are considered to be equal to Kita. Kita is some insignificant insects. So who feels that? The person who has received the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So therefore in the first paragraph Prabhupada is talking about Bahunam Janmanam Ante. After many lifetimes, one comes to the conclusion that Vasudevam Sarvamiti. But here we find that a huge jump where one can come to the same conclusion simply by taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the beauty of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore one should be grateful to Srila Prabhupada for bringing the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in our lives. Instead of going through so many lifetimes to come to the conclusion that Vasudeva Sarvamiti, in this one lifetime itself, you are able to come to the same conclusion that Vasudeva Sarvamiti, that he is everything. So one who becomes a pure devotee through devotional service to great personalities like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kaivalya or merging into Brahman appears no better than hell. As far as the heavenly planets are concerned, To a devotee, they are like phantasmagoria or will-o'-the-wisp. It just doesn't matter. It's all illusion. And as far as yogic perfection is concerned, a devotee does not care a fig for such perfection, because the achieved, what is that achieved by a person who's performing Ashtanga Yoga? At best, he person may get some yogic powers, or he may realize the Paramatma feature of the Lord. Since the purpose of a yogic perfection is achieved automatically by the devotee. So a devotee achieves the grace of the Supreme Lord, that includes the grace of Paramatma and the impersonal form. This is all possible when one becomes a devotee of the Lord through the medium of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. So therefore we find that here the verse trying to tell us that here what the activities of a devotee are, what the activities of a non-devotee. One is a gradual process. Through so many lifetimes one comes to the understanding that Vasudeva Sarvamiti, but that cycle can be broken, and you can straight go to the same understanding of Vasudeva Sarvamiti by simply taking shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's by taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are cutting short so many lifetimes and come to the conclusion that yes, Krishna is everything, and the life's purpose, life's goal is to serve the Supreme Lord. That does not mean that we change our job, we have to leave our family. Wherever we are, change the attitude. By changing the attitude, you are able to perform activities not for one's own pleasure, but for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. By doing that, one can perfect one's own life and return back home to spiritual world. So therefore these days you find when we send the darshan pictures, we have at the bottom the message, chant at least 108 times, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Better would be to chant 108 times 16, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ideal, chant constantly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and be happy and return back to the spiritual world. So that's the message is being sent every day to, I think these days the darshan pictures are going every day to 5,000, 5,500 devotees, and indirectly it's reaching about 40 to 50,000 devotees every day. I think we've got only about 5 to 10 minutes. Today is also the disappearance day of a great devotee. Anyone remembers his name? Jayananda Prabhu. Jayananda Prabhu left the material world or the body a day before Narasimha Chaturdasi. So tomorrow we are celebrating Narasimha Chaturdasi, and the Jayananda Prabhu left the body a day before. That on May 1st, 1977, the day before the festival honoring the appearance of Lord Narasimha Dev, Srila Prabhupada's dear disciple Jayananda Dasa passed from this world. And I'll read what Prabhupada wrote a letter. Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter, Jayananda Prabhu's death is glorious. He has left his body very wonderfully and he has been transferred to Vaikunta. Everyone should follow the example of Jayananda. I'm very proud that I had such a nice disciple. If possible, Jayananda's picture should be hung in the Ratha festival of chariot of Lord Jagannath, and in all our temples a day may be set aside for holding a festival in his honor, just as we do on the disappearance day of the other great Vaishnavas. He was a very dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who contributed $5,000 in those days for the first print of Bhagavad Gita. One can, and that $5,000 was the entire savings of Jayananda Prabhu. And in today's terms, I was just looking at in terms of inflation and calculate its value today, it's coming to about 50,000 US dollars. So you can imagine somebody meeting Prabhupada and say that here is my entire savings of $50,000, please take it. And Prabhupada was very much pleased with that offer, and the first book of first set of Bhagavad Gita was printed with that $5,000. He was a mechanical engineer. Although he was a mechanical engineer, somehow he did not like to be a mechanical engineer, and he worked as a taxi driver. And as a taxi driver, whatever income he was getting, the entire income he was giving to Srila Prabhupada. He was such a dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada that Srila Prabhupada would personally cook and then feed Jayananda Prabhu. And he used to feed him so much, Jayananda Prabhu would simply eat and eat and eat, and Prabhupada would serve him. And the same mood Jayananda Prabhu continued whenever he meets other new devotees or others. He would serve prasadam. In one case, it is said that Jayananda Prabhu took a huge plate of prasadam to one newcomer devotee, and that newcomer said, I can't eat so much. He said, no, it's okay, you can take it. He said, no, I can't eat it. So he says, no, you can take it. And then he take that new devotee, he finishes the entire plate. And then once again, Jayananda Prabhu goes inside and gets a similar size of plate once again and gives the same person. He says, please take it. He says, no, I can't take it. No, so you can take it. He says, no, I can't take it. No, you can take it. And the person happily finishes the second plate also. So that is the weapon Jayananda Prabhu had used in his preaching. And in his preaching, it was very simple. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Have faith in Mahamantra. That was his first preaching. And the second preaching is chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and eat prasadam. This is all that he was doing. I believe this is the preaching he used to do. And he would, prasadam, he would honor it as if it is the Supreme Lord. If by chance, while he was carrying prasadam, if the remnants fall from his hand onto the floor, he would bend on his two hands and two legs and lick directly with the tongue. Because he would consider prasadam as non-different from the Supreme Lord. So with so much of care, he would honor prasadam. And he is the person responsible, Jayananda Prabhu was responsible for the Ratha Yatra. So many Ratha Yatras were conducted on the bayside of, I think, New York, where he was responsible year after year, improvising the carts. And it is, he would go out, beg for flowers, beg for bhoga, beg for items, And most of it he would get free of cost, or with minimal amount being paid, he would make the card. And when he was making the card, he would engage anyone and everyone. Whether the person is a drunkard, the person is nothing to do with somebody is even smoking a bidi or a cigarette, he would say, come, and then he would engage them. Such was the personality of Jayananda Prabhu. And therefore, Prabhupada had so much of affection for him. And anyone he meets, these two things, he would distribute, give them prasadam, and he would tell them, just chant, have faith in holy name, everything will be okay. So finally, it was said that this is the message. No, I think I've lost that part where final message as given by Srila Prabhupada. So Jayananda was fearless even in the face of having leukemia, I think cancer he had, and the last stages also he was so much connected with Krishna and Srila Prabhupada that whatever is happening in his body, he would not care. And till the last moment, he was engaged in Rath Yatra festivals. Jayananda Swami Prabhu ki jai. Yeah, any questions or any comments? Any questions or comments from anyone? Grandaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vanchakalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. సూసైడ్ చేద్దాం అనుకున్న వ్యక్తి టచ్ అయ్యి లో ఫెయిత్ అనమాట. ఆయన బుక్ డబ్బులు కావాలని అంటే దాన్ని మొత్తం సేల్స్ ఇచ్చేసి ఎంతమంది ఇస్తారు అట్లా. ఇవాళ మనం ఎవరిని వచ్చి $50,000 కావాలి అంటే అట్లాంటిది ఇవాళ $50,000 అమెరికన్ డాలర్స్ అంటే ఇవాళ లెక్క. ఆ రోజుల్లో అంటే 1967 $1,00,000 ఇచ్చాము అంటే వేరే మాట. కానీ ఉన్నదంతా కూడా ఇచ్చేసారు అంటే ఎంత నమ్మకం.
That is the power of Prabhupada. Many people are there, but Prabhupada has blessing on him. That's why he gave it. No problem.
Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsam Sri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitanstam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-Bhakta-Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,